How to create a journal in Xero. We would use journals to potentially do corrections, do things like posting payroll journals so the wages are in the correct place, or things like prepayments and accruals when we want to spread a cost over a period. How do we do that? Hit accounting and hit manual journals, and we go to this lovely screen. This by default shows everything that's posted so far. We can also pop them in draft. So if we want someone else to review them, or we're not quite sure yet, and we don't want to actually post them live into Xero, we can post them to draft first. We can void journals and cancel them. Repeating ones are journals that post on a regular basis, so every month, for example. And then we've got the archive of anything that has been archived away. So we've got journals and repeating journals. I'll show you journals first. So we just click new journal, and then this might be a good old accountancy accrual. So we've not had the invoice for March yet. It's going to come in April, but we need to recognize the cost in March. So we'd put a narration. So accountancy accrual for March. Let's put that in now. The reversing date is an automatic reversing date. So if we want it to flip the journal the other way, we can do that. So in this example, if we know the invoice is going to come in April, for example, we would want this reversing because we don't want to double count accountancy in there. This default narration here just means that when I click here, it copies that. Now, this interesting button of show on a cash basis report, this is often ticked, but actually wants to be unticked a lot of the time. So this is if it's in relation to cash and is a cash movement, in which case that stays ticked. But in almost every example, you want to untick that little fella. Then we put our account name in, so we'll go with accountancy. If there's a region in there, so if we've got tracking categories, we can pop that in. Then we put a debit for how much it's going to be if it's an expense in that example. I then click down here, and because that's ticked, it's picking that up. We'll then go into accruals, and we'll pop our £1,000 in, and we can add extra lines. We can make this as big and detailed as we like. We can add files to that journal there, so if we've got a working paper that we want to upload, we can pop that in there as well. We can save it as draft and come back to it, or we can post it, and if we hit post, boom, that is now there. It's journaled, it is in. So if I go on posted, there it is, and there's the planned reversal on the 2nd of April. Repeating journals are for things that are going to go through on a regular basis. So a classic one would be the release of a prepayment. So let's say we've paid £1,200 for insurance as a one shot, but that needs to be released at £100 per month for 12 months. So I would put the first journal date, and I can backdate these, although Xero will give me a warning. So let's say it started from February, and we'll do it once a month, but we can do weekly as well. And I want to end this in 12 months time, so we'll do it by the end of January. Again, I can just do it as a draft. That's useful if the numbers are going to change every month, or I can post it. Like I said, it's giving me a warning that I'm back posting here back into February, and then we'll do prepayment. If I could spell the word prepayment of insurance for, and then we've got these lovely little placeholders, so we can put that in. So each month it will say March, April, May itself as we go along. Then put the prepayment in, so we'll put the release of the insurance at £100 a month, and then we'll put the prepayment because that's going to be coming down every month, so that's a credit for all those students with the debits and credits. And then we can preview the placeholders to show us what that will look like with that description that I used just here. And then boom, hit save. And that will now merrily post itself now on the posted every single month. So you can see it's done February and it's done March. Simple as that.